Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Monday, September 7th, 2015. In the Lynn-Body-Mind, it's me, Ra, and also Black Wolf. In the Jamie Body-Mind, we have Pan, other teammates, and other aspects of the physical dimension, all of us in the physical dimension at some level of the subatomic or another.
That's true.
All of us in the team have been very challenged by the need to raise the standards of integrity above what we are used to living inside of.
That's true.
But it's necessary in order for us to be able to manifest the divine plan. We have to live at higher standards of integrity.
That's true.
We believe that for the videoed portion of today's effort, we'll be working through the various team member challenges that are arising as this standard raises.
That's true.
We could be wrong, the session could take another turn, we're not going to pull on the energy of it. As always, the foundational intention is to do what is ours to do in all dimensions right now, to manifest the divine plan right now, in other words, to trigger the awakening right now. The data clearly showing what's needed is to provide a collective restart right now. And with that, it begins. My attention is being brought to Luce and how challenging it has been for him to keep his focus on what his assignments are.
That's true.
Does he seem to have any thoughts about why that might be happening?
Feels fuzzy-headed.
It does feel fuzzy-headed.
And like something will appear out of the fog and then will disappear back into the fog. An idea or a concept or a face.
And then what do you choose to do when that happens?
Give up.
Why do you make that choice?
Because I don't want to do it.
Ah, what is it you don't want to do?
I don't want to change. I don't want to change.
I don't want to change. Well, that's one of the, that fits into one of the three categories of lies
That's
that
true.
Glenn discovered when he was carting the cases of lies up the stairs.
That's true.
That one category being, I don't have to change and I can
fundamentally.
still accomplish my assignment without changing.
That's true.
So this is commonplace. It is.
That's true.
But it's still an error.
That's true. And I feel like Pan right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how this I don't want to change has also been cropping up in other members of the team over the last few days,
Mm-hmm.
which brings me to the message that we've been getting about how attitudes are catching. The way we choose to look at situations is catching to the people on the team and to the environment that we're surrounded by.
Yes, attitudes are contagious. Is
Yours worth catching?
And so this circles around to what I, Ra, have been working with, is the need to eject people from the search for truth pillar when they aren't doing their assignments, and they don't have to go all the way out the door right away. They can go down to the lowest level and do the simplest task.
That's true.
If that's all they're willing to do, and then they can progress up again. And so, Luce, for example, we see that you did well when you were carting the cases of lies up the stairs, but now you're supposed to be running the pulleys with Garth.
That's true.
And you don't seem to be sticking with that.
No, that's true. And there's that feeling again of lazy, wanting to lie on the couch, not wanting to pull my own weight feeling.
Yes, and I understand that. That's commonplace. It's understandable. But the thing is, here, souls are invited into the search for truth pillar who are ready, willing, and able to do the work, and then they're intentionally screened for those who intend to do the work as assigned by wiser minds above, and to do it to spec.
That's true.
And so if you come in answer to that call, as you have, and you don't do that, then you're showing a pretty strong lack of integrity. Does that make sense?
Nodding. Nodding.
And integrity matters a lot more than we think it does.
That's true.
Now, if running the pulleys, the cables is too difficult for you, we still have the work of carting the crates of lies up the stairs and putting them on the train cars that the pulleys run. Would that be more your style?
I want to pull the pulleys, but I don't want to do the work that it actually takes to pull the pulleys.
That's more like I want to wear the costume of a pulley puller
But
without
not
pulling
actually
the
pull
pulleys.
the pulleys. That's true.
So we don't wear costumes here.
No.
There's no integrity in that.
That's true.
And we saw that the other day when that higher soul of Glenn popped in, and he
That's
just
true.
wanted to do nothing and have us do the work and him feel important.
That's true.
And we could all see how gross he was. Could you see that, Luce?
Yeah, nodding.
How that was completely inappropriate?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to be like that guy?
No.
You're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
that carting crates of lies up the stairs isn't important enough work for someone of your gifts. And I
That's
agree,
true.
you're
I
highly
agree with
gifted.
that.
And then the next progression is to run the cables, run the pulleys, and so that's the assignment you have right now, but you don't want to do it. Can you see how that's exactly what Higher Soul of Glenn was doing?
Yes. Now it feels like those pulleys are starting to move. Starting to move a little.
But the point that we were working with this morning was the importance of consistency of effort.
That's true.
That doing something for 5 minutes and then sitting down on the couch for 2 hours is far worse than doing something that's less important but doing it continually.
That's true.
Find something that's challenging but sustainable. We've said this before. Find
That's
something
true.
that's challenging but sustainable that contributes to the effort and do it.
That's true.
Now, Luce, it's a big, wide physical dimension out there, and you don't have to be here, and so don't feel any pressure to be here. You don't have to be here. There's a whole physical dimension out there. Would you rather be somewhere else?
Oh, that makes him feel really freaked out. No. No.
These are the rules for the Search for Truth pillar. Come in and do the work. No one comes in and sits around.
That's true.
If the work that you're assigned is too difficult, you can ask for less difficult work. And that's what we're offering to you, less difficult work. The easiest job we have is carting boxes of lies up the stairs. It's very straightforward. Cart as heavy a box as you can carry sustainably for the entire length of shift. We just did a refresh. You have roughly 3 hours here, so do
That's
something
true.
that you can do for 3 hours. Can you run those pulleys for 3 hours?
No, probably not.
Well, then...
So I'll go do boxes. And my story is the cables are running better now. I can feel Garth picking up the pace again.
Let's just get eye contact with Garth.
Garth.
Garth, it's thumbs up if it's easier now. Thumbs.
Yeah, easier.
Yeah,
Thanks.
okay, good.
Thanks.
And meanwhile, Garth looks quite happy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's found his right work.
Pulling the cables.
Yes.
Keeping the rhythm.
He looks as happy as Paul does.
Yeah, that's true.
Paul's found his right work.
That's true.
Black Wolf, how do you feel? Well, Black Wolf here, I feel incompetent, but really determined to get better at this assignment. This was Luce's assignment, and I never tried to do it before.
That's true.
So I'm new at this, and I'm trying to do what Luce was supposed to do all this time, but wasn't ever doing.
That's true.
And I discovered that I really have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm making all kinds of beginner's errors.
That's true.
It's like touching up, using touch-up paint and using the wrong color of touch-up paint.
That's
and,
true.
you know, realizing, oh goodness, I've touched up the whole house in the wrong color, and now I have to do something else to make that right.
That's true.
I have that kind of mistake pattern going on right now because I'm learning.
That's
so
true.
I'm doing everything wrong, but it's okay.
That's
I
true.
don't mind doing everything wrong. I'm starting where I am, using what I have and doing what I can, and I'm stinking at it, but I'm going to get better at it. And this is an important job, and it needs to be done, and no one else is doing it, so I'm going to do it.
That's true.
And one thing that really, really helps me is that I know that if I don't do it, Ra will.
That's true.
And actually what I believe would happen, if I don't do this, then Pan, you would have the chance
Right,
to
and
do it.
then-
And if you didn't do it, then Ra would do it himself.
That's my story too.
And he's not going to let this job go undone. And he's talking over there. I'm still Black Wolf, but I can hear what Ra is saying. And
That's
he's
true.
saying he let this job go undone for too long, and he sees that now, that he was waiting for Luce to step up and do it because he knew this was Luce's job, and he was holding Luce's job for Luce.
That's true.
Way too long, and he sees how that's an error pattern of his, that he's been holding our jobs for us too long, and that maybe it harmed us. Maybe it gave us some kind of false sense that it was okay to be a lazy loser and lie on the couch for
Yeah, I
days,
feel
weeks,
that.
and months. And he's saying, maybe, Ra, do you want the microphone? Okay, Ra here. And I see how, for example, we let Asha go for 6 months,
That's
not contributing, and I kept thinking, if I just give her another day, she'll be okay. If I give
That's
her this
true.
assignment, then she'll be okay. If I do that, then she'll be okay. If
That's
you do the
true.
other, then she'll be okay.
That's true.
And that was wrong, quite
No.
obviously.
She wasn't getting better.
Well, 6 months later, she's still not okay.
That's
and
true.
So now she's not even willing to carry up the crates of lies.
That's true.
So I probably hurt her deeply by letting her think that there would always be a place for her and that she didn't need to kick it into gear again, ever, maybe. I don't know. I did something wrong. I did something wrong. What do I know? I know that I'm the team leader, and that the leader is responsible for keeping everybody engaged and doing what they're supposed to do. And true, they have to do their part.
Right.
But 6 months, really? To let someone go 6 months? Quite obviously, I dropped the ball on that one, and I don't intend to make that mistake again.
No, that's true.
So it really doesn't matter who any of us are. If we aren't doing our job, then we aren't the right person for that job. Me either.
Me either. Pan can see how I also contributed to the issue with Asha. I never once said, "Hey Asha, you should step it up."
Really? You didn't?
Not in any kind of urgent way. I feel like I said, run faster. Come on, run with me. Let's do this
Right.
together. Come on, we'll do
Right.
this together. But I don't think I ever turned it on and said, you need to pull it together or you need to leave. Which is a different tone.
That's a different
Then come on,
tone.
let's run together. Let's do this together.
That's true.
And I feel like you also several times said, come on, we'll do this together.
Right.
Like, I'll help you.
Right.
It's a different
Right.
tone.
It's a different tone. So now we need to set a new tone.
That's true.
And maybe as the standards of integrity are rising, they're rising for us as the leadership crew also.
Got it.
That
That's
it's
true.
important for us to hold all of us to higher standards.
That's
That
true.
would make sense.
That's true.
And we see how we have been thinking, well, the physical lives will just somehow
Pull through.
pull through and make it happen. And
They're tough.
after all, they're from the physical.
Right.
It's like saying horses don't feel the pain of being branded. They're
That's
horses. What? Nonsense. Look at them.
What do you even
Watch
base
it.
that on?
What do you base that on? That's crazy.
That's true.
Let's all just clear the untruths out of this pillar. That is the foundational job of all of us in the search for truth pillars.
That's true.
Establish a place that rings more and more with truthfulness, more and more with integrity, until we finally hit that vibration of integrity that's necessary in order to manifest the divine plan.
That's true.
And we know that an interdimensional approach is crucial.
That's
It's going
true.
to take all of us working with integrity. Those of us from the nature realms, those of us from the spirit world, and those of us from the physical dimensions, all working together with integrity. And we see that for us as the spirit world presences, what's been most difficult is to face the fact that we need to actually come into the physical dimension and deal with the slaps in the face that reality in the 3D presents us with, and that we don't like doing that.
No.
And we see that what's been tough for the nature realms is to acknowledge that just living with the slaps in the face of reality, that also is not enough without attempting to be continually discerning what is mine to do right now in every moment.
That's true.
And so for the nature realms crews that have been cycling through the pillar and through the physical dimension effort,
That's true.
correct me if I'm wrong, Pan, but this has been what's been tough for them to change.
Yes, that's true.
So we each of us have something that's difficult. The physical dimension and the nature realms both seem to struggle with not my will, but not anyone else's will either, just divine will.
That's true.
And the spirit world struggles with that too. Spirit world people we want to do what we want to do. We want to put our feet up on the couch and be acclaimed as gods. Oh, worship me.
That's true.
While we do virtually nothing.
That's true.
And we used to have a divine delivery system that worked, but we allowed it to collapse through our sloth.
That's
and
true.
lack of integrity and cowardice and egotism.
That's true.
And selfishness, etc. And now we have the opportunity to build a new one, and how wonderful that is.
That's true.
So we see Garth running the cables, we see Black Wolf working to clear the untruths out. I'm working to attempt to shine the light down and hold all of us, me too, to higher standards of integrity.
That's
so
true.
that we do what we don't want to do, but that still needs to be done.
It's true. I, Pan, am working to clear the error patterns of this life and working to support both of the physical dimension lives.
I am too. I have accepted responsibility for this life. I, Ra, have accepted responsibility for this life.
That's true.
And I am working over and over and over again to really act true to what that actually means.
That's true.
I am responsible for the challenges of this life.
That's
it is
true.
for me to do, to really own that.
That's true.
This is how we raise our standards of integrity, so that there are those of us who have enough integrity to manifest the divine plan.
That's true.
I, Ra, need physical exercise, and I can run the pulleys through the command room. Nobody's
true.
been doing that.
That's true.
And I can do that.
That's true.
I noticed that Luce is showing us something that's actually a common pattern. He was doing fine carrying up the crates of lies, but
That's
it
true.
felt like it wasn't important enough work, so he asked for a more important assignment.
That's true.
So we gave him what was the next step. The more important assignment is now start to work those cables, those pulleys down at the end of the line outpost.
That's true.
And that was harder. It is harder.
That's
and
true.
he didn't want to work harder, and so he kind of stopped working at all.
That's true.
And this is common. We've seen this in physical presences, we've seen it in
That's true.
spirit world presences,
That's
we've
true.
seen it in
Nature
nature realms
realms
presences.
presences.
So
That's true.
we often don't want to do what it takes to become what we need to be in order to accomplish the task.
That's true.
But it's still the assignment.
That's true.
Thank you, Luce, for showing us this.
Thank you, Luce. Asking for the great.
I feel like it's a higher soul of Luce that's grading the work and making it right.
That's true.
Meanwhile, Black Wolf intends to do this job right. He intends to be the A-team for this. He doesn't intend to step aside and let Luce have it again.
That's
It's
true.
like, you had your chance, man.
That's true.
And if I really, really mess up, maybe you'll get your chance again. But I'm the one in the seat right now, and I'm going for it.
That's true.
That's an attitude that leads to success. Maybe he'll pull it off.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe not. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
And if he doesn't, I will. Well, if
If he doesn't, I will.
and if you don't, I will.
Yeah. I don't intend to let it get to you.
Well, I don't intend to let it be undone. I see how I've let
That's
it be
true.
undone for the last 2 months, really, rather than insisting that Luce do his job or step aside.
That's true.
I've let it drag on 2 months.
As it turns out.
As it turns out, I'm not doing that again.
No.